Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and welcome back to another Sims 4 speedbuilding video. So in today's video, it is quite a short one and I do want to apologise for that, but recently I've been doing a lot of work on my save file and I've realised that I haven't actually got any single sim starting apartment. So apartments that you can create a sim in CAS and then move them straight into. I haven't actually got one and I felt like it's so necessary to have one, especially an apartment more than a starter house, and so I decided for today's video I'll just do this little starter apartment. Obviously, being a starting off point for your sims, it's not going to be as cluttered because I was working with the budget, and I believe the budget for a single sim is 19,000 simoleons. Oh no, sorry, that's actually the budget that I had for this apartment. I think it's around about something else. I think it's around 20,000, 22,000, but obviously with the apartment you need to put down a deposit, and so the actual budget that I had to work with was 19,500 simoleons. So it was quite a large amount of money for such a small space. So I did actually kind of decide to splurge out on kind of like the kitchen items. So I didn't actually use a really cheap oven or really cheap fridge or just really cheap looking counters. I did just use kind of the ones that I'd normally tend to use in any of my other builds. So you won't really need to replace them unless you really want to, because sometimes I feel like if you use really cheap objects in all the house, your sims will just always have an uncomfortable mood lit from them. And so in this house I did kind of splurge on them few kitchen items just a little bit, although in the kitchen I didn't actually add any coffee makers or anything like that, just because I was still trying to be cautious of the budget. I didn't want to go and completely splurge out on the kitchen. Although I did kind of splurge out on the fridge and the oven, I still wanted to be mindful that I've still got another like bedroom and a lounge and a bathroom to do. So originally I was actually going to come back to the kitchen and add like a little coffee machine and stuff, but in the end I didn't actually have enough money, so it just kind of ends up just being the kitchen with the oven, the sink and the little fridge. There's nothing else in it, but as your sims earn some more money they can just, you know, buy themselves something. But moving on to the bathroom, it's the bathroom I did actually manage to get a shower and bath combination in here. Normally whenever I do starter apartments I always want to use this kind of combination, but I can never really afford to. But in here I decided that it was completely necessary. I want your sims to be able to have the option to have a bath or a shower, because sometimes when your sims are running out the door you just want them to have a quick shower, but sometimes when you've got a bath you obviously can't do that and it takes forever. But now moving back to kind of like the living area slash kitchen slash kind of everything area. So there are these really ugly pipes in this apartment and I really didn't want them showing because they are just so unattractive to look at. And so what I actually did is I used this base game wardrobe and I just kind of covered it up. And I know that sometimes that them pipes do leak, and I was thinking whenever that does happen, it only happens to me on like once in a blue moon whenever I play in this apartment, because this is actually an apartment that I like to play in quite a lot. But when it does happen you can just move that wardrobe forward a little bit, fix the problem and then move it back, and then you don't actually have to look at them ugly pipes all the time, because they are some really ugly looking pipes. Also I did just use the city living bed in here as well. I didn't actually use the used one, I used the brand new one, so your sims won't get an uncomfortable mood lit from it. It will just be like a normal looking bed. And now I'm actually just going back and just playing around with the structure that I put that wardrobe in, because I wanted the kitchen to be a little bit bigger, and so I just extended it a little bit out. And I also did kind of add a little half wall just to kind of section off the build a little bit, so it's not always like you're sleeping in your kitchen. I still wanted it to kind of be sectioned but not fully sectioned, because walls do cost money and I was working with a budget. But as you can kind of see I did add that little Get Famous rug. I did kind of splurge on that as well. It is quite an expensive rug, but I feel like it just is needed and it kind of ties the room in all together. And now I'm actually playing around with some wallpaper. I felt like the walls were very plain and bare because they're all white walls, and so I decided to kind of do one wall of paneling, and I actually do it on the opposite wall as well. On the opposite wall I do actually end up putting like a little TV area, and I wanted your sims to be able to use the TV as well, so I didn't want to have a starter apartment and nothing for your sims to do, so I do just have a little TV area in this build as well. And I also do actually add a little desk area into this build as well, which I feel like is so necessary, because one of the main things my sims like to do is actually just play on the computer, and the computer offers so many different things for your sims to do. You can find jobs, you can talk to people, you can have some fun, you can write a book, you can literally do so much. And so I felt like it was a necessary item just to add, and so I just added one of them little base game tables, and then I added one of the laptops, which I believe is from Strangerville, and it's quite a cheap laptop. It's only about 1,000 simoleons, and so I just thought it would be perfect for this little starting apartment. But I am just finishing off this build now. I'm just doing this little hallway as you walk in through the front door, and now I'm just going to go around and just put a few more items here and there just to kind of make it feel a little bit more cluttered, and I had a few more simoleons left. But anyway guys, I'm going to end this voice over here. As always, I hope you enjoyed watching me build this little starting apartment, and as always, if you do like my content then please subscribe, and hopefully I will see you in my next Sims 4 speed building video. Bye guys!